name's Patrick Horn. Thank you everybody for coming up here. I'm doing this for my Fire Service Instructor 1. Recertifying, I guess you would call it, redoing it. When I went to retire, I let my stuff run out, not knowing I was going to be teaching at the school up there. So I had to have this for the school, and the chief wants me to help with doing the training here for everybody. So thank you, chief, and the district for letting me use the training room, and we're going to get this started. So tonight's class is going to be very high participation in here and out there. We're going to do the classroom portion first. There's lots of things to cover. You're going to have objectives that you're going to have to meet. At the end of the class, there's like a 10-question test that everybody take, and I gotta. You can study for your drug test, so you know how that goes. So anyway, what we're going to go over to start out with is you have to learn the parts of the ladder, what types of ladders the fire service has. I couldn't believe they only list 4 types of ladders, ground ladders, that the fire service has, but they didn't list all of them. There's 2 that's missing, and I'll get to that when we get to that. So if anybody has any questions, just pop it out and we'll go from it. Gotta do my flight attendant thing. There's the restrooms. There's the exit, there's the exit. Something happens.
Can we have a break now?
You're gonna get a break. So, anyway, this is called Introduction or Essentials to Ground Ladders, okay? There's a whole lot of different parts to a ladder. Does anybody know what ladders are made of? There's 3 different materials that ladders are made of. Does anybody know them?
Wood.
Wood,
Fiberglass.
fiberglass, what's the other one?
Aluminum.
Okay, why don't we see wood around here in this part of the country? Who uses the wood ladders in the United States?
Wouldn't that be more on the east and west coast?
West Coast. Yep, California, out there in San Francisco, LA, and the reason they use the wood ladders is, can somebody guess why?
Salt.
For what?
Salt.
Nope, not salt.
Really?
Nope.
From the ocean?
The main reason is their buildings are so close together, they have so many wires close together going in and out of these buildings, they don't want their guys getting electrocuted. So with the wood ladders, okay, you'll see their ladder trucks. This is one of the ladders they don't list in this class. It's called a banger ladder. And a banger ladder can go up to 60, 70, 80 feet in the air. Okay, it is a ground ladder and it has tormentor. You probably remember these.
Yeah.
It's got the tormentor poles off to the sides. When the guys raise the ladder, they push it up and then they secure them into the ground and go straight up. Okay? They're kind of outdated, old history. Who can think of another one? A pompier ladder. Does anybody know what that is?
I used to know.
It's a stick that goes here. Draw it.
Oh, yeah.
So the old type, in the old days, this thing, I believe they're 10 foot long. They would take this hook and throw it on the windowsill on the floor above them, and the firefighter on the windowsill down here would climb up this, take it out, and go right on up the building with it, on a stick. And it's amazing. You can find some old pictures of these guys doing this back in early 1900s. It was common.
So is it just like a hook with a
It's a
pole,
hook.
like an L, and then it has the rungs?
The rungs, and you go
And then
right
you
on up,
just
and you just
go
slam
like
it
that
up,
and then
go
go
right
up.
And they used to use them all the time in multi-story buildings for rescuing people, because the ladders weren't tall enough. So that's how brave those guys are. So the class today is not on aerial ladders, but some of these ladders are carried on aerial ladders, okay? You're gonna see it later. They're carried in 2 different ways on these trucks. They're in a horizontal rack where they come out flat, or they're vertical, where they're on the sides. They can be up on a, what's how they call them? Oh man, the automatic ladder racks,
Yeah.
where it comes down off the side just like that, and it's right here for you to grab it vertical. So there's 2 different ways. We're gonna see all that outside. All of this stuff is governed by NFPA 1931 and 1932. So 1931 is the standard on how ladders are manufactured, okay? 1932 is the standard for maintenance, inspection, and taking care of the ladders, okay? So we're gonna cover a lot of that stuff today. Everybody cool with that? So what's the other two ladders?
Aluminum and fiberglass.
Okay, fiberglass and aluminum. Why do we use aluminum ladders?
Withstand,
They're all across the country.
withstand heat better.
Rust.
They don't rust. Okay, that's one. They're a lot lighter than fiberglass and wood. Wood is extremely heavy. So does anybody know why they don't paint wood ladders? They varnish them. So you can see if there's any heat cracks, any spalling, any, if the wood grain turns black or starts to stain, they take it out of service immediately, okay? I know for a fact in Los Angeles, let me back up, San Francisco, they have a whole company that's a part of their department that builds these ladders,
Yep.
okay?
See, I've,
And what they do is they cut the ladders out and then they set them on racks for 15 years. So the ladders get used to the moisture. Apparently the moisture is really, really super high in San Francisco. So then they take these parts off after 15 years and make the ladders that they are put on the trucks today. They have trucks that have over 100-year-old ladders on them and they're still using them to this day. That's how good they work. I mean, it's pretty amazing if you think about it.
I saw a
So,
video.
did you?
Yeah. Video making the ladders. One.
Yeah, where you put the rungs in and the
Uh-huh.
beams, it's really interesting how they do all that stuff. So, that's why they use those out there. So, there's 4 different types of ladders in the fire service, okay? Straight ladder, okay? That's just a straight ladder, nothing on it, no hooks, no nothing, okay, that we carry on the trucks. The second one that's a straight ladder with hooks on it is the roof ladder, okay? You got extension ladders, and what's a combination ladder, anybody know? They're really pretty awesome. It's like the Little Giants, you can make them into an A-frame to go over a fence, or over anything you want that you gotta climb up both sides. If you have a parapet on a roof, I'm sorry, does everybody know what a parapet is? On a roof in a building, in commercial buildings, they have, it's a firewall that stops the fire. If the fire's on this side, this thing will be 6 feet above it, and it keeps the fire from not getting into the next building, so it's called a parapet. Well, if they have to work on the other side of this parapet and can't get a ladder truck to it or a bucket truck, then they throw an A-frame up there and climb right on over and away they go. So, it's pretty cool. Does anybody know what a Little Giant is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. So these are all the different parts. What's the strongest part of the ladder?
The butt of the ladder?
Huh?
The butt?
You're kind of in the right neighborhood.
B.
The beams. The beams are the sides, okay? This is the beams, okay? The rungs are the part that you glide on, okay, where your feet go. You're gonna learn tonight, there's a proper way of climbing ladders. You just don't run up the center, you put your boots next to the beams when you're climbing the ladder. Why do you do that? Because it's the strongest part of the rungs, okay? They're made to support more weight next to the rungs than they are out here. So if you take a guy that's 450 and gonna come down, you think it's gonna move the center of it? Probably. And if you're on an extension ladder, you have your halyard in the middle. You can't be climbing on your halyard, so you gotta climb on the sides of it. So that's the other reason for it. Okay, butt spurs. The bottom of the ladder is called the butt or the heel. The butt spurs do what? Anybody know?
Drive into the ground.
Stabilize the ladder.
Stabilizes the ladder. You got it. Okay? Just keep it from going this way, and this way, and that way. It's a safety feature. Okay? Every ladder, according to NFPA, has to have a label on it that has a heat sensor on it. Okay? They're supposed to be within 18 inches of the tip. If you get in over 300 degrees, this thing's gonna change color and you have to take your ladder out of service to inspect it. Now, how could that happen?
Being inside the window
Fire.
when there's fire.
Fire. What's another way? Electrical charge. That's a bad way. Somebody's on it, they're dead. Okay? So that's the utmost thing I can preach to you guys. Always err on the side of safety. Okay? Safety is gonna save your butt 99% of the time, okay? So we got that, the hooks are closed on the roof ladder, truss blocks. Most fire departments don't have truss ladders. The ones that are wood are truss ladders out on the west coast, okay? It gives them more strength and it helps lighten up the load on the ladders. They say a 35-foot ladder is like 250 pounds. And it takes 4 to 6 guys to carry one of them things. So that's a lot of work. So just letting you know. Everybody cool with that? Sure? Is it the right way? Okay. So the first section on the ladder is called the bed section, and this is the fly section. Okay? Oh, here's a better one here. This is the bed. This is the first fly. That's the second fly. Up here is called the tip. Okay? That's your pulleys to raise the halyard, to use the halyard to raise the fly sections up and down. Okay? Oh, they're not showing it. Oh, here it is. Okay, you know the hooks that come up and they click when you go up and you gotta drop them back over the rung? Those are called the paws, okay? That's what that's for. On the bottom, you have the bottom of ladders, especially on our, which ladders has it? Our attic ladders that we carry, the folding attic ladders, they have those foot pads, and why are there foot pads on the bottom of those? Think about going in a house.
The floor is slick.
Think of, what is it?
The floor is slick.
Floors are slick, big time. People have the wood grain floors and they wax them and do all that stuff just to keep that from flipping out. Why did they invent the attic ladder? Because you can't take these big suckers in the house without knocking lamps over, knocking
Holes in the
granny
walls.
ceramic toys down, all that stuff that they collect. That's one of the main reasons. 95% of equipment on fire apparatus were all invented by firefighters. Most people don't know that, to make our job easier, okay? Everybody understand that? And FPA says they got a label down by the bottom on the butt section, the length of that ladder. That's why it's on every ladder, okay? So if you don't know which ladder you need or how tall you need, just look for the number over here. And there's a trick to these numbers. That's 14. What's the 1 mean? 14 means one guy can raise it with no problem. If it says 24 foot, figure 2 guys for safety, okay? It's a rule of thumb with ladders. So if you come up and they tell you, if chief tells you to get the 24 foot out, get somebody else to help you. And you can do it with 1, 2, 3, or 4 guys with no problem, okay? That's what that's on there for. There's the pulley for the halyard to go through, okay? And then at the top, another NFPA thing is they want white reflective tape painted white. Does anybody know why?
So one person inside the room can see it?
So you can see it. If it's up on the roof and you get guys doing work on the roof, okay? The rungs have to be 3 to 5 rungs above that roof so they can see it. If something happens, that's their escape route. So for the escape routes, if you got guys working on the roof, whether it's the guys on a ladder truck or with ground ladders, you always have them up. A ladder truck counts as 1 escape, okay? The ground ladder could be number 2. You always have 2 escapes, okay? So if we get an apartment fire down in the city, there's 3rd story, we put one on the 3rd story, then we have a ladder come in next to it. So they know either way to get out here if they have to bail. Those guys up there working. Does that make sense? Am I boring you?
Not yet.
I'm trying to get the nervousness out. I'm working on it. If it wasn't for that camera, I'd be fine. Okay, what components does an extension ladder have that a single or roof ladder does not have?
Hooks.
Whoops.
Lanyard, halyard.
The halyard,
Moving parts.
moving parts, pulley. What else?
Also rope?
That's the halyard.
Oh.
Okay. Pause for locking in. Anything else you can think of?
No, it has a fly.
It has flies. What's on the very bottom?
Butts.
Heel spurs or butt spurs? Yep, that's a good one. So. Differentiate among types of ladders. So there's 4 of them. So what were they?
The roof ladder, or the
Roof ladder,
extension ladder,
okay?
attic ladder.
No.
Combination ladder.
Combination ladder. What's the last one?
Wood ladder.
Straight ladder. Straight ladder.
I got
Put
you.
nothing on it. Straight ladder. Okay? So we're gonna go out and do this, okay, after we get done with this section. So the safest and best way to check the angle on the ladder to make sure you got it right is you stand on the ground right in front and put your arms straight out. And if that rung is right there, you're perfect. Does anybody know the degree of what a ladder is supposed to be the safest at when you're climbing?
45.
Like 25 to 30 degrees. 45.
75. 75 is like that. Okay? So if you got it like that, you're doing good. So do you think it would be different if he went up and did this, and I went up and did it? Went like that, you think it'd be different?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Not really.
Really?
Maybe a rung difference. It's
What-
still safe.
What about somebody like you versus like Nicole? Like a bigger difference? Does that make a difference then?
No, because she's shorter.
She's shorter, so she would be,
She would go to a bottom, or
she'd go to a lower rung.
Oh, I got you.
Does that make sense?
so he,
The arms.
Right. So, this is the roof ladder, okay?
Got arms like
They
this.
got the hooks exposed. We're gonna go up
T-Rex.
the extension ladder, and you're gonna lay the roof ladder up here, on the roof, and learn how
Yeah.
to do it.
Real tall,
Okay.
have arms like this.
Notice he's wearing all his gear, including his face shields down. Why?
Nothing hits you in the
the base of
face.
shingle hits
Hits you in the face, or you lose control of that ladder, hits you in the face, you only got one pair of eyes. Got plenty of teeth, but you only got one pair of eyes. That's why, always err on the side of safety. So this is a 3-bed section, okay? This is the bed, that's the middle section or first section, that's the second fly, or the tip or top fly. And wherever you go around, even around here, around our house, people call the different parts of ladders different things, but it means the same thing. Okay? That makes section. Okay? Take note, how many do they have above that roof?
Like 6.
A lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have to get it up there for what? For the working distance of that ladder, they have to have it at the right height. Okay? So does anybody know if you're doing a rescue, do you put a ladder under the windowsill or off to the right and higher to the window?
To the right.
to the right.
Under.
Under the windowsill, right here, you're gonna rescue somebody, okay? If you're gonna ventilate or do any kind of work, carry a smoke ejector up there to blow this thing out or whatever, it's right here, okay? Work off the side. If you're gonna break windows up that high, you want the wind, you're gonna be on the windward side, so the smoke and everything blows out the leeward side. So you're gonna be over here, breaking this out, cleaning it out, okay? So it's on the right side. If the wind's blowing on the left to the right, you're over here, Okay.
So getting somebody out of a window that goes for firefighters and patients.
right here,
Gotcha.
right there. Always underneath. It's quickest access. Compare and contrast uses for single ladders, extension ladders, and roof ladders. So what's that mean? How far does a straight ladder get you?
14 feet.
As tall as the ladder is,
Yeah.
basically. So if it's a 20-foot ladder, what's it gonna get you?
20 feet.
Okay, so the working distance on a ladder, if it's 20 foot, say 20 foot, it gives you 19 feet to work from. Okay, that's how you know the working distance of a ladder. So if you have a 30-foot extension ladder up, it's 29 feet, that ladder gives you to work from.
Does that count for your bars above the?
Exactly, everything. Yep. So I just told you that because I remember it from a long time ago.
So it was just a foot less, whatever you were. whatever ladder you have.
And if you get up in the banger ladders, which nobody has anymore, it goes down, four rungs or 4 feet. So you got a 60-foot banger ladder up, you can only work 56 feet of the ladder. Does that make sense? So, what types and lengths of ladders are commonly used in your jurisdiction? What do we got out here?
Straight and, extension, and attic.
Okay,
Don't we have a ladder too?
Yeah,
roof ladder.
Yeah.
How long are they?
16, 32, 36?
No.
No.
You got 24 foot.
24.
24 extension ladder.
Yeah.
24 is the extension ladder.
I don't even know.
What's a roof ladder?
The 16?
14?
10 foot.
10. Okay? So you'll see that when we get out there. And why is that important to know that? Does anybody know why?
Because I don't wanna grab 2 ladders.
Because
That's one good reason.
the roof ladder's
I wanna
not
grab
gonna
the
work
small
if you
one
got
and have the big one.
20 foot of roof and you only got a 10-foot ladder.
Exactly, or it could be the opposite.
Yeah.
You don't wanna have too much.
You don't want to have too much. Exactly. So when you go to put these things up, what's the first thing you do when you get there?
Seen size it?
You bring the ladder up and you're gonna ladder the building. What's the first thing you need to be looking at when you're walking in?
Power lines, anything.
Power lines, tree branches. What else? Anything that could hurt you or kill you. Could be a clothesline, anything. Okay? Describe the process of cleaning, inspecting, and maintaining the ladder. Okay, we're gonna do that tonight, because our ladders are filthy.
Rinse them off and
Everybody
dry
does
them
the
out.
outside of trucks. So, when you do a ladder, what do you think is the best way to do a ladder, when you go to clean it?
Take it down.
You let it down one, you use a bucket and water. If it's really bad, you use mild detergent like Dawn or something, and scrub it with bristles, rinse it all off, and then dry it off. Why do you dry the ladder off when you put it up?
Rust.
Aluminum doesn't rust.
No.
You're thinking though,
Still
think about it.
You don't want the film and stuff like that on it?
Could be wet,
Yeah, it'll still do that when you.
and what does moisture do inside compartments?
Stink.
What makes it stink?
Mold.
Bacteria and mold. They will mold on you. And if you go to climb that ladder, what's mold on a rung of a ladder?
Slick.
Guess who gets hurt? First guy that goes up. So that's why we keep everything as clean as possible. What's the other issue with that on there? If it's wet, it's gonna transmit what faster? Electricity.
Yes.
You will get fried. So what's another hazard with using a ladder? Go to wintertime, tell me what's another hazard? There's several. Ice on the rungs. You guys ever had a ladder froze to the building?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm using lines and you're covered, the ladder's covered you're working off of? Yep. It's slicker than you know what. What's another thing, hazard in the wintertime?
If it's snowy or ice on the,
Snow or ice on the ground, that thing can kick out on you. So you gotta be really, really cautious of what you do, and everybody's gotta be thinking together when you put ladders up and use them, okay? Making sense?
It's chilly.
You're gonna do inspections, it's chilly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cover all parts of the ladder, determine the cause of excessive wear, inspect per SOPs. Who's SOPs? You have his SOPs or NFPA's SOPs? Both, okay? So what can go bad with a ladder? What do you need to check?
The heat tags.
That's one.
If anything's loose.
The rungs, you need to check the rungs, see if there's a twist in the beams anyplace, any discoloration of the ladder. If you know it's been in a fire and had actual fire in it or close to it, it's out of service when you get back.
Or the butts
Yes.
of it. Like a lot of times the butts will fall off or they'll get beat up, or you can't stabilize it on the ground.
Right?
Or melt.
Sometimes. So what's the dirtiest part of the ladder after we get done usually?
The ones.
The rungs and the heels, the butt spurs. Yeah. So if you have them full of dirt and mud and you go out in the snow, what's gonna happen?
Probably gonna
Your
freeze
butt
up.
spur ain't gonna grab the ground or grab anything. It's gonna go because it's covered with dirt and mud. So that's why we keep everything clean as possible. Besides, the taxpayers are paying a lot of money for this stuff, and we need to take care of it. That's another reason. Yeah. Who knows how often you need to inspect ladders? NFPA,
Probably after each use and probably monthly.
after each use and annually. If it don't get used, once a year, they get tested in session. Very good. You embarrassed yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's-
At least you're thinking. Okay, here's the heat sensor right there. That's what it looks like. They're on our ladders, okay? But that dot changes color, it needs to be taken out of service. So at 300 degrees, if it gets exposed to 300 degrees or more, that thing's gonna change colors. You need to take it out of service and get it checked, okay? That's NFPA standards.
Crazy question, but could it get to that point if it's just sitting inside of the truck? Like on like a really hot day and it's just cooking? I don't know if it would ever get
I
that
don't
hot,
think
but
it'd be 300 degrees in a compartment.
If it is, you might need to check that
I
compartment.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, use
Yeah.
it for a tanning bed or something.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't know we had a sauna.
Let me know,
Throw
please let me
turkey
know
in there.
if a compartment gets to 300 degrees.
Yeah.
That's where
turkey
we're
in
gonna
there.
put the pizzas.
I mean, I know it's a couple degrees higher than
Okay,
70, but
inspecting ladders, you got rung damage or wear, rung tightness, that's why it's going like that. If they're loose, what can happen? When
Break.
rungs are loose, they'll spin. And if you put your boot on it, what's gonna happen? You're gonna go, whoop, it's gonna roll you right off of it. So, bolt rivet tightness, cracks and defects in welds, cracks, splintering, breaks, gouges, checks, wavy patterns, the formation of the beams, areas worn for vibration and points in the contact and apparatus and ladders. So what does that mean? What's that bottom one? It's in a rack on the truck. What do trucks do when you're driving?
vibrate.
Vibrate, going up and down, slamming left and right. I mean, they get abused just being on the truck. So if you think about it, so
Only if Jeff tries.
replace the heat sensors when their expiration date is reached. You didn't know that one, did you?
I thought you replaced the whole ladder, but
No, you would have it checked.
oh, I got you.
Yeah, you do the inspection of it.
Do you know who would do that inspect? Like who? Like I don't even know who we would send that to.
How long is it?
That
Heat
part, that part, I don't know. I don't know how long they last. I really don't. I'll find out. They might have it on there.
Yeah, should be.
The bolts on wooden ladders should not be so tight that they crush the wood. Why is that?
Splitting.
It'll split and fray and cause cracks, and then you're done.
Can you imagine if you accidentally screwed up a 20-year-old ladder? You were putting the bolts on.
I'm sure it's happened.
Oh, yeah. More than once.
Guaranteed. There's nothing firemen do. Any ladder that has been subjected to direct flame contact, has been exposed to high heat, or has a heat sensor label that has changed color is unsafe for use and should be removed from service for the testing. So that answers your question. Get it off the truck so nobody gets hurt.
I got you.
It's real simple. Inspecting the ladders, damage found, remove ladders from service, if unable to be repaired, destroy the ladder or scrap for parts. Okay? Has anybody seen a roof ladder or a straight ladder go like this? Where it twists and it's got a curve in it? Yeah, down there, because it got so hot being next to a burning building. It's almost like a warp that does to the thing.
Them compartments, man, I'm telling you.
Kevin, what's that say right there? What's that number?
24.
Oh, you're so. Read the rest of that for me, will you? I'll make sure you don't miss nothing.
Yeah, ladder markings, designated length, manufacturer's nameplate, apparatus designation, or locally assigned inventory number, white tip or reflective tape, balance point stripe.
What's a balance point stripe?
It's the middle of the ladder.
A little ladder. So you can walk right up, one guy can throw it on his shoulder, depending which carry he's gonna, and it's balanced. So when he's walking, you want it slightly tipped down, and you carry it with the butt front. Why do you want it slightly tipped down?
So you're not throwing yourself back.
So you can see where you're going. It'll help you direct the direction you have to go into, okay? This is NFPA stuff. All these stickers are on these ladders, they are the ones that have the jurisdiction to say those goes on the ladders. That's why they're there, okay?
Now I'm assuming if something like that wasn't on there, then that's a liability issue.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. Well, it helps you keep track, too, of your, like your maintenance sheets on your ladders. When you had them tested last, you got numbers on them, you can go right off that. It tells you when it was made, so you know how old the ladder is, all kinds of stuff.
We got ours tested when they do that pump.
When they pump test ours,
Yeah.
Kinda- Kind of crazy to think that whole ladder is being held up by 2 bolts. If you think about it, on the bottom of those butts right there is a bolt running through there. That's pretty
And the
crazy to
weight.
think about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's that say?
We said a second ago that they shouldn't be painted.
I'm just making sure you learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I was gonna paint the aluminum ladders.
It doesn't say you can't paint
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I can do the
This is the
aluminum
marking
stuff.
of the labels. What's the number one hazard with ladders?
Electrical.
Electric. Always be very cognizant. When's the worst time to be putting a ladder up?
Thunderstorm or
Thunderstorm in the dark. 2 o'clock in the morning, you just roll out of your rack and you get a call and you gotta get a ladder out. You think your brain's gonna be going 90 miles an hour? Nope, you're trying to wake up. It's very hazardous at nighttime.
It's gonna be going 90 miles an hour about getting back to bed.
Yeah, you ticked off because it's a stupid EMS call. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been hurting me for 2 weeks. Why
Yeah.
decide to call now?
It become an emergency at 2 in the morning.
good thing we don't work in those fields.
Ran out of pity pills. Mr. Sam, your turn. Let's go.
Inspecting metal ladders, evidence of flame, impingement or heat damage, corrosion or rust, loose or missing rivets or fasteners, loose or damaged rungs, cracks, bends, or other damage, dry rot or damage to the halyard,
What's the halyard?
the rope, the string
rope. So is that an important part of the ladder?
Yeah.
If that thing's rotten and you gotta say somebody off the balcony and it go like that, it goes, your hand, is it done?
Not to mention, where's the ladder going?
Down.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get hurt. So that's why we do the inspections like that. Okay, Sam.
Inspecting fiberglass ladders, cracks, chipping, or other damage to fiberglass components, loose or missing rivets or fasteners, evidence of flame, impingement, or heat damage, corrosion or rust on metal components, loose or damaged rungs, damage or missing rubber on the foot pads, dry rot or damage to the halyard.
So what 2 companies around here use nothing but fiberglass ladders? Think about it.
Electric company.
Quiver Electric and
Yeah.
UE. Why is that?
Just curious,
Exactly.
but isn't fiberglass also conductive?
Not like ours are.
Okay, so I always thought fiberglass was conductive.
Those guys are wearing special kind of boots, they have to put on special kind of gloves. Okay, then they got the ladders for their protection.
Is fiberglass? Maybe I missed that. Does that weigh more than aluminum?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yes, they do.
Why don't they use those?
I
on
don't
the,
know how much weight difference, but they do.
Why don't they use those on the West Coast then? If they're not as well, I guess you still got to wear more protective when you're doing
Because
electric.
the wires in are so heavy,
Gotcha.
so.
But I guess if they had to go to another option besides wood, fiberglass would probably be where they're going.
For them, probably would be a better deal,
I gotcha.
yeah. Has anybody ever been to California?
I
Yes, yeah, sadly.
Huh?
3 months. 3 months in vacation over there.
Oh, that's where you went?
Yeah, San Diego.
I grew
My
up there.
question is, does it snow there? Do they get snow and cold weather like we do here at our
Once
house?
in a while,
Our cold
What?
weather.
once in a while,
Really?
yeah.
I
I
got
can show you pictures.
Once
I
every
grew up
5
there.
years.
Well, why ain't you talking and answering?
I just said it 3 times.
What, dude?
what part you grew up in?
I don't know, I forgot. what
South
I
Lake
said.
Tahoe,
I got you.
Sacramento.
So it's mountainous there, I'm assuming?
South Lake Tahoe's fucking amazing.
Really?
San Diego was mountainous. I felt like I was in Mario Kart. on
San
the roads.
Diego's a shit show.
You wanna try one?
We got good food though.
Inspecting wooden ladders or ladders with wooden components. Areas where finish has been chipped or, chaffed or scraped. Darkening of the varnish, dark streaks in the wood, marred, worn, cracked, or splintered parts. Shoes, rounded or smooth, and water damage.
Okay.
So we can inspect the ladder in the morning. Just call it.
Any indication of wood deterioration is reason for the ladder to be removed from service until it can be service tested.
So it's like the other ones, any damage, any sign, any doubt, take it out. Okay?
Do those still have a heat sticker on the wooden ladder?
I believe they do. NFPA.
But I think if it gets to 300 degrees, I think you're gonna have a stick on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, inspecting roof ladders. Sub-assemblies operate with ease. No signs of rust or deformation. No loose parts. So what do you think? What would be inside that little box right there? Pick your
Spring.
rust.
The spring,
Spring, exactly.
WD-40.
They don't make springs out of aluminum. So that's one thing you gotta check for. WD-40. Inspecting extension ladders, the pawl assembly, where's that at, Kevin?
The paw.
What's the pawl section do?
Little hookies.
Click, 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 click. Okay, alright. Okay, hook and finger should move freely. The halyard cable replaces damaged or worn taut in the bedded position. What does that mean?
It's tight,
Tight.
while it's not extended.
What's the bedded position? Exactly. So it's on a truck, and halyard has to be tight, okay? So just to let you know, that is a test question. Kinda lock that in your head.
What was it? One more time. Now that I'm listening.
You want me to take the test for you?
please?
I didn't know there's an option.
The halyard is taut in the bedded section. What's the halyard?
It's the little ropey dingling.
Alright, we're not talking about smoking a rope, it's a real rope.
I got you.
Just ladder guides, condition fly sections, free movement. What's the ladder guides?
On the left, there's a
There's
ladder.
the channels on the beams that make the fly section go up straight. Okay, that's what a ladder guide is, that's what they're talking about. Review question, compare and contrast inspection requirements for different types of ladders. So if you're gonna inspect a, extension ladder, what's the difference between that and a roof ladder?
There's just more components that you have to.
Total different parts, which one's gonna be faster and easier to do?
Roof ladder.
Roof ladder, right, exactly. Yep,
You
any
only,
questions? Anybody got a pee? No, you guys are excited. Sorry, I'm trying.
You're doing a fantastic job.
Service testing ladders before being placed in service annually while they're in service, so that's once a year, okay? After any use that exposes them to high heat or rough treatment. Are firemen dainty?
Oh, no.
Not at all. They always get treated rough. They get dropped, they get drugged, run over by trucks, you name it, it happens. Okay? This is the part where you're gonna clean the ladder, just showing you how to do it, okay? Guy's got his, I don't know why, but he does. Got all the stuff on, a soft brush, got the water nozzle right there and a bucket of water.
Is that a chief?
And it, yeah.
That's what we have to do.
That's just
Are
the
you
things I
referring-
don't see.
Are you referring to being on his knees?
No, just the one helmet.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Everybody's
Get me
just
started.
going.
Ladder cleaning guidelines, use soft bristle brush and running water, mild soap and water, or solvents to remove tar, oil, or greasy residues, okay? Lubricant according to the SOPs and manufacturer's recommendations. Look for damage or wear while cleaning and report defects. Who do you report defects to?
Chief.
Chief, okay? Wipe dry after cleaning use.
I'm gonna make sure I find something wrong.
What's a lubricant that they suggest?
We always use WD down there in the hood.
WD?
Yes, I don't know what the official is. Anybody know? No?
Whatever. Joe Lube.
How often should ladders be cleaned?
Annually?
Every
Every
use.
After every use. Exactly. So if you pull it out to trade it, what should you do with it? Clean it, because it probably needs it. Probably got 4 inches of dust and dirt on it from just sitting and not being used. Think that happens?
Oh, yeah.
In every department. Ladder maintenance, repair. Keeping ladders in a state of usefulness or readiness. All firefighters should be able to perform maintenance. That means everybody on the trucks, everybody. When you repair, restore, or replace what is damaged or worn out, must be done by a trained technician. So, we're this side, okay? Technicians are on this side, okay?
Who would be your nearest technician for fixing ladders?
Banner. That's who we use to service them, or they're the ones that do the ladder testing every year.
Yeah. Yep. So ladder maintenance, keep ladders free of moisture, store or position ladders away from vehicle exhaust and engine heat. Why do you do that?
See,
They get hot all the time. Exactly. Stores so they are not exposed to the weather elements, paint only for purposes of identification or visibility. Okay, so what would that be?
Only fiberglass and aluminum ladders.
And do the tips.
Do you still do the tips on?
And on the new ladder trucks coming out, they got, say a 75 footer, you got the bed section, the midsection, and then the fly. They're adding a whole new section to that rocks down that the guys can lock up to give them 10 more feet to go out. And those are real bright orange or red on the new trucks. It's pretty neat. So if that gets ripped or torn, the rest of the ladder's okay. Don't hurt it. They can tear shit out of that up here. Don't worry about it.
What about on the wood ladders? Would you still paint the tips, right? Or no?
Don't use any paint on wood ladders.
Okay.
Varnish, varnish, varnish. What are the general maintenance requirements for ladders?
Lubrication.
Visual inspections. What else?
Wish we could go over this.
Make sure the heat label isn't bad.
Right? Some
Cleaning
cleaning.
them.
Want me to go get you some crayons that you want?
I would love a purple one right now.
Okay, describe safe practices for using ladders. What's
Protection.
that mean?
Like your
When you're gonna do, raise your ladder, what do you do?
Check above you.
Check above you, left and right, should not be any closer than 10 feet from electrical wires. If you're closer than that, you're not putting it up, you gotta move to a different place to get your ladder up, okay? Remember that, 10 feet. It's a good rule of thumb for you guys. Okay, develop and maintain an upper body strength, this is us we're talking about now. Operate according to departmental training and procedures, wear full PPE when handling and working with ladders. Choose correct ladder for the assigned task. Use leg muscles, not back and arm muscles when lifting below the waist. Okay?
Hey, you said PP, not me.
I know. Use adequate number of firefighters that carry and raise, do not raise within, here it is there. Do not raise within 10 feet of electrical wires. Secure tip and anchor foot during training or emergencies, what does that mean? How would you secure a ladder?
In the ground.
On the top and the bottom, how would you secure it?
On the bottom, you can put a Halligan or an axe, or you can put it in by the concrete, by the,
And then do what?
make sure it's stable. Hold it. Hold it.
That guy's button and heeling it for safety. Up on top, you can take a piece of webbing. You got something to tie that top part up, tie it up. So we'll do this or this up in the air. Then you're double safe. That make sense? Press beams when extending or retracting. Ensure hooks of the paws are seated over the rungs. So what do you think that means? Do you think they can hang up right here and not go like that and go over the rung? Yep. If you don't maintain them, they will stick right there, and you go click, 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 and you think it's coming, the whole fly section's coming down on your hands. Okay? It's another reason for maintenance and inspections. Ensure ladder is stable before climbing. Use caution when moving ladders sideways, and we'll teach you guys how to do that. Climb smoothly and rhythmically. Never overload, that word just jacked me up. Never load the ladder, one firefighter for every 10 foot or one per section. So what does that mean?
So if somebody's above 10 feet, somebody can go.
So you
Another
got a
person.
guy here on the bed section, the guy on the mid section, the guy on the fly section. You think that happens?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No,
I've seen 6 or 7 guys on a 30-foot extension ladder. Because they're all fired up, the adrenaline's going, and they want to get up there and get after it. And they're going, they're all going up.
Holy moly.
They'll take it, but NFPA says no.
Me, I'm like, yep, I'm waiting.
Use leg lock or ladder belt when working from the ladders. Anybody know what the leg lock is? I can't believe they still teach this.
Oh.
Is that the thing where you put it in the rung? and
Put
go
your
like
foot
that?
through the rug and
you-
hook it out on the beam.
Were you really, and you weren't even doing it?
Shut up.
Relocate
should be doing it at
position
29.
ladder only when ordered to do so.
What is the ladder belt though?
It's a Pompier belt. It goes around here. It's got a big hook right here. You slam it on. On the rungs or on the ladder trucks, you hook it on the
Is
side.
it almost like those things where you have the claws, like when you're climbing, like the? No.
No,
Okay.
no. You're talking about an ascender. This is a big wide belt and it goes right around here and it's a great big hook right here. Okay? And it just clips in.
Kinda like a carabiner.
It's a giant carabiner
Okay.
on the front
I
part, you
dread
know?
that part of Fire Academy.
So believe it or
I
not,
dread that part of Fire Academy. What part? The ladder truck.
when I started in the academy, that's how we freaking rappelled, was with a Pompier belt, and that was it. And we did it every day, day and night.
That he just dated himself, that was like 70 years ago.
I was
And
gonna
we
say,
got-
didn't they
we
just
got
use
that-
like regular rope
We
too?
got that off the side of the harnesses for the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So say I didn't have to use the same ones or not.
right, exactly.
We still got the same ladder belts in Lincoln County.
Oh, sure, you have to for the ladder trucks. Oh.
Just hit 50 minutes.
Okay, use ladders for intended purposes only. Inspect for damage and wear after each use. Secure unattended ladders to a stationary object. So what does that mean? If you're not on it or using it, they're saying you need to tighten something. Why is that?
So you don't go fall on somebody.
If you're working a hose line and they got a ladder and you got 6 guys up on top, and you have to work a hose line or go make a rescue or something, they want that thing secured so they can get off the roof to get up and down, okay? So there's a lot of things that they don't talk about in this thing. What's another way you can use a ladder? They need to think about the different ways you can use ladders. What
Rescue.
you can use for.
Yeah.
rescue,
What kind of rescue?
ice,
Ice rescue's one. Can you use them for confined space?
Yes.
Yep. So I put it on the back with a pumper like that, tie it in with webbing here, and use it for a high point to lower a guy down inside a manhole,
Like a grain bin.
like grain bin.
Structure to structure.
okay? Like what? A bridge?
Roof to roof.
So if you had a hole in the floor, like from Jeff over to this here, can you use a ladder to walk across that hole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Better believe it, yes you can. If you got guys down in there, can you use the ladder for?
Down and where? In the hole?
In the hole.
Slide the ladder down for them to get up.
Slide them down so they can get it out, or you can get to them. So you can use ladders. This is limited. This is limited what you can use ladders for.
Ooh, drafting with the water. I know it's not really for us per se, but I know that we used it down at the river. I don't know if that's
You
still
can
taught.
use it for drafting.
To hold the
Hold the floater.
Yes. Floater up or just
And a strainer.
Yep.
You can use a 5-gallon bucket, you can use a tire, anything for that.
If you got extra manpower, just hold it.
You okay, Dustin?
Yep.
Alright. Warning. You wanna read the warning,
Me,
please?
ladders come into contact with power sources may result in electric, whatever, of any in contact with the ladder.
So can you get electrocuted carrying your ladder to where you're gonna go?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have any of you guys ever felt on the ground, your feet will start to tingle, when you got wires down and stuff? That's a warning, back out, because you got charged live wires in front of you. Always treat all wires like they're charged, okay?
Well, but if I see any wires on the ground, I ain't coming close.
Well, I believe you, to the
I
T.
am not, I've been electrocuted, nope, I'm good.
Okay, sliding down the ladder either feet first or head first, even in an emergency, is unsafe and may result in a serious injury or death. True. What you got?
When we did bailout training, we went head first.
I know. And what did you do?
We're going under,
Lock your arm in, you
climb
swing,
around arm, and you swing
and
around.
you swing, and then you go down,
Then you go
right? Exactly.
But does that mean that, cause it says don't go down head first.
That means, basically, they don't want you to grab and crash.
So the whole thing,
You wanna see that? Justin does that pretty cool. Head first all the way down.
Justin
Our
Hunter,
Justin?
Yeah.
he done that before?
Oh, yeah. All the way down, head first.
Like slow or fast.
All right,
Quick.
safety when lifting and lowering ladders. See what he's using?
A junior.
His legs. Using his legs, yeah. Movement should be smooth and controlled. Teamwork is important. Use correct number of firefighters to do the lift. Bend knees, keep back as straight as possible, and lift with your legs. Lift on command, a firefighter who can see members of the team. Lifting should occur in unison. Lower ladders using leg muscles, keeping body and feet correctly placed. So if you got 3 or 2 or 4 guys on the ladder, who's the boss?
But,
Right side butt or heel. He's the guy that calls, raise the ladder, all of it. Cause he's looking and watching for everybody. So if you're running an extension ladder up, where do you put your hands?
On the
Outside of
side.
the beam.
On the beams. What happens if something happens and that ladder gives way and your hands are here?
The paw turns to a
You don't
ball.
have any hands no
Your
more.
hands are gone. Exactly. Okay? List 10 general guidelines for ladder safety. You got one. Do it.
PSI scene safe.
BSI seen as safe, always look up.
Yeah.
Okay? So you look up once, you get to your spot where you wanna put it, you look up again. Yep. And you have one of your buddies look, get everybody on the same page. So let's go, we got 8 to go.
Lift with your junior, not with your back.
Pretty much. Okay, let's try that again.
I like it.
I do too. What's another safety thing?
Make sure the ladder's secured before you go up.
Ladder secured? And where's the first place you wanna check for it being secure?
The butt.
The butt or the heel?
The heel.
So is there a trick that you can use if you're on uneven ground and that thing goes like this? Is there a trick that you guys know of?
Put a piece
Just
of
a normal-
cribbing under it.
you can put, go ahead, wedge cribbing underneath
Yeah.
the side and to hold it and make both sides even, yes. Most
You
of the
somebody
trucks,
really, you put the stronger guy on that side, that way.
that would greatly help.
So that's better than the idea of just putting some dirt
So a
under
lot
it.
of trucks, a lot of apartments carry that on their trucks. It's wedge cribbing, but it's a wedge. It's like a door wedge, only it's a 4x4. And you just take it underneath here to where it meets, and then on the building, away they go.
They got the metal ones too, right? I
Yes.
want to say we have them or something like that. I've seen
So, no, you're talking about chalk blocks.
them. Maybe, I don't know.
You're talking about the things that are the racks.
No, it's like a piece of, I don't know, it makes like an L shape and then it's like a
No,
thin
the
L.
angle iron,
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
he's thinking thing for when you're pushing a dash. To-
Yeah, that's what it
When
is,
you use
yeah.
the Rams,
Yeah, he's
yeah, you
thinking
put it in the corner, it's
Yeah.
got the notch things on it.
that way, yeah, it holds
Yeah,
your ram.
That's for vehicle
Yeah,
rescue,
100% that's what it was.
so,
We're on ladders.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah.
yeah. Focus.
Well, wait a minute though, technically a ladder can be used in a rescue if you're in a
Yes,
tractor
it can.
trailer or a, you know,
School bus,
school bus.
what's the 3 lines on the school bus for, the black lines?
Ooh, I know this actually.
Do you?
Yep, I learned this
For
learned this in school the other day.
Okay,
It's
what is it?
so the bottom one's where the floor's at,
The floor?
the second one's where the second one's at, and then
The second
the seats.
Bottom of the seat.
And then the
What's the
second
third one?
top of the seat.
So the second one is second one's out.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
what lines are you guys talking
about?
Yeah, and then the third one's the top of the butt, like the
Right.
top.
So would you use ladders on a bus accident?
Good, depending on what level the.
What about a train?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about an airplane?
yeah,
What about a dumpster?
yeah.
You ever seen them great big dumpsters? They're like this far, yeah. Yeah, you use a straight ladder on a dumpster.
Be kinda hard to catch a plane.
If it's crashed, knucklehead.
We have
Put you
long
on a
ladder.
red crayon, it's not purple.
You could probably catch it.
How many people does it take for that?
You know, I was thinking, along with Dustin's comment, if it's an uneven, you could use one of the juniors, you could lay them underneath it.
Yeah, in his helmet. Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
Well, you know, you can start with your leg and move it up. You know, the bigger spot you gotta fill.
Okay. Avoid electrical hazards. Look up to check for overhead wires and equipment. Okay? Look up again before raising the ladder. Keep distance at least 10 feet from the energized electrical wires or equipment. Okay, it's a circle of safety. Okay? Everybody understand that? We're kind of drilling that hole. Okay, avoiding electrical hazards. Use alternate raising methods when necessary. So, what are they doing?
Seesaw.
What raise is that?
Straight raise?
Flat raise.
flat
They're trying to do a flat, okay? What are these guys doing? They're doing a beam raise. So the reason being, you can't get through all this stuff to get your ladder up on there, so they moved it, went over here, did a beam raise, and up they go. Does that make sense? So if we're in a factory, what's all over the place in factories?
Pipes.
Pipes, wires.
Pallets.
Equipment, big time. What would we do if somebody fell in over here at MFA in one of the grain bins?
Call Jeff.
Would you use ladders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else would you use?
Winfield Foley. Their ladder truck.
We can change the
Rope
ladder
gear
truck.
that we got.
Thank you.
The new one will be here in a month and a half.
Yeah, so we're getting the old
Who,
one.
you guys?
Yeah, we're
Or
getting Brett.
Winfield?
Us.
Really? What'd you get?
We're getting a King Cobra. You ever seen one of
100
those?
footer?
It'll be 109 foot.
109?
Yeah,
Awesome.
the top, the very end section pivots down to the ground,
What I was telling these guys.
and then you walk into it. Yeah.
So is Ellsworth get the old one?
Yeah.
No, they're selling it if you want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it because it's almost out of. You almost can't get it certified no more.
Kinda like
How
on
old
the
is
roads.
it?
It's in. It's early 2000s. It's been welded 1,000 times.
Yeah. All ladders will conduct electricity, especially when wet, regardless of their construction material. All, Kevin.
wooden.
Wait, what's going on right now?
Oh,
Oh,
all ladders will conduct electricity, especially when wet, regardless of their construction of their head.
I'm not gonna lie. I really was thinking that wood wouldn't really do that. Wood wouldn't do it. I mean,
What's the key word?
wood.
Oh. What's the key word?
All.
Wet.
Wet.
Warning.
Oh, wet.
There's moisture in wood.
Make it right.
It's already lost.
If it's wet.
Okay. This is a personal thing I remember for 40 years, at least 40 years. When you got a wood ladder, the fly goes in, wood goes in, okay? That's the fly section. That's how you remember it, okay? Fiberglass and aluminum, fly goes out. Always remember, wood goes in. That's how, I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about.
He don't, he's still thinking.
I'm just wondering why does it make a difference? Like what?
Because the wood ladders are designed for the fly to go in. The other ones are made for out,
Just a wet,
when you use
it's just
it.
construction.
It's just the construction of how you use the ladder. That makes sense?
Because if the person in the middle gets in there, it can sag in if it's the opposite way. That's what it's constructed as.
So,
The bed,
see the difference? Here's the fly, right there.
Yeah.
It's on the building side, okay? On this one, the bed is on the building side, and that's on the outside of the bed. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
You need glasses,
No, it's just
these trying to think.
it's just a weight distribution thing, or is
It's
it?
how they're manufactured.
Yeah, just,
I guess 20 years before aluminum came out, that's just how they were. Just the other way. That wouldn't make sense to anybody.
no, because they still make wooden ladders.
Yeah, but now the new
The same
model,
way.
the new model when that comes out of a wood ladder in 20 years, that's gonna be the other way now.
Okay. All right.
Well, in 20 years, it'll be the opposite. Wood ladders will be on the outside, and aluminum ladders will be on the
Probably.
inside.
It'll be a big marketing scam.
yeah,
Oh, you can't use your old ladders
No.
because they're on the wrong side, so we
Right.
gotta switch everything, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Put the heel on the roof.
Yeah.
you don't do
Okay,
that now.
securing the halyard. You wanna do that one? Remember
No.
what it is?
No,
What's the halyard?
the rope.
Okay, can you tell us about it?
Secure, tie off the halyard after placement and before climbing. Closed halyards are already tied. But don't, you do a half hitch, don't you?
Some people do.
Because there's a lot of people that do it differently, and I'm
Some
always,
people do a
I'm
double
always,
wrap
I'm
and they
always
slide it through the
confused.
wrap. Then when they pull it, it comes right out.
I'm always confused on how everybody does it.
Well, then we'll work on it.
Remember, if you can't tie a knot, tie a lot.
Yeah, green needles. Put
It
green
don't,
needle
it
work.
don't matter, it's less.
I remember I thought in like basic,
I'd
we
be home
went,
by 8:30.
it was almost like, I don't know, I
It
can't.
don't matter, just
My mom just texted
make
me.
it sure it's tight.
I just like how when we already tie them
Okay.
to where that we just pull them and they're already tight.
Oh, I can run that.
Being taught,
Well, when we
I can run
pull them
that
up,
in your truck.
right,
a lot of, I've seen them a lot where you pull them up and they're already tied to the rung
at the bottom, so you can take your hands and you can roll
Just tell
it.
me when you're
or whatever,
To
yeah,
loosen
and
it or
then
tighten it.
that's it, it's done.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all that
Actually,
extra
Shane's the only one on
crap.
All depends on, David's SOP. We do what he wants and that's what he gets. How can you avoid electrical hazards when raising a ladder?
Turn off the power.
That's another one.
Don't read them.
Don't raise them. What?
Beam raise.
Beam raise, okay? How should the fly of a metal or fiberglass extension ladder be positioned, Kevin?
Outward.
Very good. Describe the process of carrying the ladder. You guys want a break? You want to keep going?
How much like we got like
I
quite a
don't know
bit.
what time it is.
Probably right.
7:45, quarter till, quarter,
Holy cow, take a break.
Yeah.
See you at 8. Leave that run. Oh my God.
Well, now they know that I was in class.
Yeah, oh, well, they don't
Believe
know.
me, everybody knows you're in the class.
You know he's on the.
Yeah, but Katie, you're gonna have to move over now because Sam's the only one on the camera.
so
Yeah, thanks,
it's
guys.
not gonna look like he's talking to anybody.
They seen them.
Junior.
They seen
Well,
them.
Marvin.
I just can't wait to put a ladder on these things.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What are you doing that tonight?
Really?
What?
You gonna go do it tonight?
I'm gonna see what he says. We can do that next week.
Can we, or does everybody wanna go out to like Dose afterwards? Or is it not?
Go what?
Dose afterwards?
Dose?
Mexican?
Oh,
I would love it if you could come, but you know.
Well, I'm asking her right now. I'm trying to see if I can.
David? David?
Hey.
Yo,
Okay, so
David?
I'm in the meeting right now, and.
David?
Okay, so I'm in the meeting right now, and I don't know when. I don't know what I'm doing, but like, you need me home. No, I don't. But if you need me to leave, I can leave now. Yeah. It's not this. Yeah. No. Oh, well, yeah, I know. Okay, alright.
snowstorm coming in, it was a guarantee we'll get a foot of snow.
Wow.
That was like normal.
Discharge? I don't know, he said he got to leave, he's not on disability or anything.
Like SI?
No, he fell down a hill and broke a bunch of bones, and somehow he got out.
Anybody got any questions? We'll get this moving.
Just going, Dose closes at 9, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that tonight.
Describe the process of carrying a ladder. So when you pick up a ladder, what goes first?
The butt.
The heel or the butt? Exactly. So there's 3 different types of ladder carries. What are they?
Shoulder.
Okay, which shoulder?
Your
You got a high shoulder, medium shoulder, and most departments call it the suitcase carry or the low arm carry.
I like this better.
Moving ladders from an apparatus, pumpers and aero apparatus. 1 or 2 firefighters, 3 or 4 firefighters may be required on an aerial fly.
Heavier.
They're longer, bigger, and the way they're positioned on the truck, where they're on the truck. Okay? So ladders, when bucket trucks and ladders are in service and they're using full of water, they have the outriggers out to stabilize everything. So that truck don't flip. They could be in compartments that are hard to get to because of the outriggers. Or where they got the boom going where they're working at with the ladder. Okay, so they come off the back, they can come off the sides, all depending on the design of the truck. Okay, selecting the correct ladder. IC, what's IC?
Incident command.
Incident commander. Okay, or supervisor usually determines ladder and ladder placement, but you must be able to select your own. Why did they put that in the bottom of it?
Because you don't want your IC to be sitting there telling you every little detail.
Or there might not be anybody around there to help you. So you have to make your own decisions. When working on a roof or upper stories, there must be at least 2 means of escape at locations remote from each other. So what does that mean? This is side A, that's B, that's C, and that's D.
One on B,
You guys are working here, where are you gonna put a ladder at?
B, C.
Back here is 1 in plain sight. How many rungs above the roof?
3.
At least,
3 to 5. Exactly. Okay, selecting the correct ladder. Ladder selection guide, working location of ladder, 1st story roof, 16 to 20 foot. Do we have that?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay, 2nd story window, 20 to 28 foot. Do we have that?
yep.
Yep. Okay, 2nd story roof, 28 to 35. Do we have that?
No.
No.
Nope. Nope. So
Would
what
the
would
school
you
be?
call it if you needed it?
Aerial.
An aerial or a bucket truck. Okay, 3rd story window or roof, 40 to 50 feet. Nope. 4th story roof. So that's aerial ladder. Okay, does anybody know the difference between a straight stick ladder truck and an articulating aerial device?
Straight stick would be like Winfield's.
Winfield, straight stick, fly and fly and fly, and it swings as one. Articulating is the arm comes up and there's another arm like this and they can take
What
it
you
and
county's
go,
gonna get.
okay?
Really,
It's
so that
neat.
the fly actually rotates?
The whole thing does.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool. Designated length, okay? Total length of a single section of ladder and maximum extended length of an extension ladder. Not the ladder's reach, single roof and folding ladders are required to have measured length equal to designated length. Extension ladders may be as much as 6 inches less than the designated length. So what does that mean?
Yeah, it was a lot of ones. Could you break it down again?
So the bottom means the 6 inches, okay? This is a window, and you've got a ladder, and you've got some lady hanging there screaming, or throw her kid. Do you care if that ladder hits right here on the base, or down here?
The base?
It can hit here.
Oh.
This is obvious better, but if you can get it here and keep it secured there, you can still get them out of that window.
So you want it to the window seal or 6 inches under?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Right there.
And then,
6 inches is a lot.
Okay, selecting the correct ladder, working on the roof, 3 to 5 rungs beyond the roof edge. So what's he using? Can he use that
Yeah.
for the whole thing? Roof ladder? Sure he can. Yep, he doesn't have to slide it up there. He's one guy. That roof ladder's easy to maneuver and get where you want, okay? This is, remember I was talking to you about windward and, yeah.
If you're on a roof ladder, this kind of goes with it. Are you supposed to have another ladder for the roof to be on the roof, or can you just
You
freestyle?
should have another ladder here, extension ladder here, then roof ladder right here, laying flat on the roof.
Mhm.
Yes.
that's why
For
they have the
safety.
clauses, so that you can put it up on the peak
On
of that.
On the peak or the ridge.
So if you fall through, you can jump or whatever and grab a hold
Well,
of
when
that.
you're working on a roof ladder, you don't leave the roof ladder. You work
Really?
off the, yeah,
Well, they didn't train us on ventilation on that one.
it's another safety thing. Ventilation, even with the window to the upside, okay? Here's the window, see where they got it on the side, so which way's the wind coming from? It's going that way, right how they put it. For rescue, tip below the windowsill. So you got it right there, okay? Making sense yet?
Are those arms by his feet?
What's that?
Are those arms by his feet?
Are his arms by his feet?
No, are
On
those?
the ladder, that red
That's the
thing.
feet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's their underarms.
I think that's it, their legs
No,
hanging out.
That's the leg
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh, I thought it was a part of the ladder.
Because when you do
No,
a
no, no.
rescue, you want that person to be on the actual ladder, and then you're above them to help them guide them down.
Right, so they're sliding her out. He's gonna take his right knee and put it in her groin area to stop her, to control her, okay? It's like she's sitting right here on his, this is his knee, she's right here. So when he goes down on the flight, she'll be on his left knee, and that's how you take him straight on down, okay? You guys wanna do that, we can do that.
I volunteer with Tyson.
I'll be the one that.
Building walls or parapets that extend more than 6 feet above the roof may require the use of an additional ladder to reach the roof deck. You can place a roof or straight ladder on the roof side of the parapet and next to the extension ladder to assist firefighters to go to the roof. Okay, remember I was telling you about that earlier? This is what a parapet looks like on the roof. Oh boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Good luck finding a marker.
This is the roof, oh boy, don't do this. This is the roof, this is a parapet wall. Okay, this is what they're talking about. This separates this part of the building from that part, the fire, so it can't get to this part. This is like an automatic fire stop. It goes like that. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Getting up and over this. So an A-frame would work, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have an A-frame, it would work.
2 ladders.
Couple straight ladders or 2 roof ladders. We'll put one on this side, one on that side, so you still get out for safety.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay, maximum working height for ladders set. Proper climbing angle, maximum. Oh, okay, this is what I was telling you about before. It's 10-foot ladders, 9 foot, 14 is 13, 16 is 15, and all the way down.
They made
We
a
talked
list.
about that.
They made a list for that.
I didn't realize realize that was in there.
Oh, well then why does it change up towards the end? You get like
Cause you're
40.
getting taller.
You're getting taller and your ladder's getting out farther from the building.
Oh.
A lot
And it's
more.
getting more dangerous.
Still, like, could have just said one sentence.
How can you determine the appropriate size ground ladder to use for a situation? So if we had the
Just
ladder
look at the windows,
this right here, what size would you use?
this right here,
Yeah, if you
Use
had
like a
outside
10-foot ladder. if we're, are we just coming right here or we're going all the way up?
Just coming right here,
I would use a 10-foot ladder.
10 foot, that's all you're gonna need.
I guess go
'Cause
based off the stories.
from the window, you gotta look at the window, you'd always think above that window is probably gonna be anywhere from 6 to 8 feet. So with your first level, say 8 feet, second level will be 16 feet, so on and so on.
How tall is the story?
I don't know.
10?
10 foot,
It's a 10
commercial
foot.
is 12,
Okay.
so that will help you guide too. So if it's a commercial building, think 12, 24, 36, on up.
So commercials are 12 and structures are gonna be 10,
Residential's,
or residential.
right,
Forbid you find
it's
a
a 10
hobbit.
foot story. Removing ladders from the apparatus. See how this is on here? It's called vertical because it's like this. Inside the trucks are vertical. Let's see. This is a ladder truck. See how they got them stored horizontally? Okay. This is that rack. That rack sits up above the bumper. It comes down. It's like right there. Comes off vertically. So that's the different types. Do we have any of this here?
You have the
We have two of them, the vertical interior.
Right.
And the vertical exterior, right?
Right.
And,
We don't have any that are flat though, do we?
No.
yeah, we do.
Where?
16, the little buddy.
Okay, you must know types,
On top of
length,
the
and
roof?
locations of ladders
No,
and
top of the roof.
apparatus. While ladders are stored and nested, how one nested ladder can be removed, leaving the other in place. Is that pretty important? If you need one ladder, you gotta pull one out to get to the other one? That's stupid. So they designed you to pull individual ladders out and leave the other ones go. That's why they're like that. Why did they do that?
I don't
For
think
time, to speed you up.
13 does it. You had to pull that first one to get to the second one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Pretty
Pull one in the
sure.
rack?
The one on the side, because I remember you have to pull that thing, because I had to fix those,
Yeah,
and you have
because
to.
it sets into the
24
extension
same
rack.
way.
See? Good
Wow.
observation. Order in which nested ladders are stored, whether extension ladders fly as inside or outside, method used to secure ladders in place, mounting bracket locations. So how do we secure them?
Well, on 13, you just pull it.
The D handles,
Twist, yeah.
and twist it and turn it. And then the
10,
rack is up here, it
14.
slides up on the rack. Okay, many departments find it good practice to mark ladders to indicate which rungs go in or near the brackets, and that is awesome. Did you
I
just,
I think 13 does have it. Does it?
so right here?
No, I was just looking at the wrong side.
Okay, removing ladders from the apparatus, mounted ladders, unlatch the securing device, there you pull it out, lift ladder off the bracket and carry it into position, like what you're saying, there it is right there. Ladders in internal compartments, open compartment access panel, slide ladder out to the proper carrying point, firefighter's position on the same side for carry. What does that mean?
14.
You're on the same side as the ladder, working together, instead of one here and one there.
Weird. Not so wide.
Right. Power ground ladders mounted on apparatus, we just covered that. Okay, so I'm asking you guys, how is it? Horizontal or vertical? Vertical. That's it. Power ground ladders mounted on apparatus in your jurisdiction.
Vertical.
And
Interior and external.
horizontal. And interior.
Interior and exterior.
There you go. Safety considerations for carrying ladders, avoid obstructions, maintain situational awareness for other firefighters, in other words, don't run into somebody, especially in the dark. Lift with your legs rather than your back, look ahead to scan for obstructions, people, and trip hazards. Sound pretty important?
So how does this, okay, such a genuine question. If we have a cat stuck in a tree, where does the ladder go?
Towards the cat.
Next to the shotgun.
No, this is like such a real question, like, if you
Well,
actually,
what we did,
Yeah, that's us.
Booster line.
we don't know.
what we
Booster
did with
line.
that cat is we put it on the trunk of the tree, but you
Oh,
can
yeah.
use a limb if it's big enough. You have to use your own judgment.
Make sure that
So,
limb is sturdy.
let me ask you a question.
I figure this has to be NFA.
It's a serious question.
Okay.
When was the last time you seen a cat skeleton in a tree?
See, I did not understand that until we went, it took me about 20 minutes to realize what you guys were talking
Still waiting.
Just
Still waiting. Still waiting.
Okay. This is a single man carrier of a roof ladder. He's got it balanced right there on the shoulder. So, the butt's right there, he's going that way. Here's two guys on extension ladders, the butt's going that way, they're going that way. See where they got it?
I feel like that's wrong though. I feel like
Rest on the shoulder.
well, I was gonna say, I feel like personnel should
When
be.
we started, if this is your ladder, and you were going that way, you went up to the ladder, got it right here, and you spun, and swung your arm in and went that way. All 4 or 6 guys did that, that's how they did it. They don't do that, thank God, no more. That's how we were taught.
So what about,
Yeah.
Remember that?
Ooh.
So, here's my question for you guys. Let me see here, where we at? Use this guy. See this picture? Who's in charge?
the,
Front right.
This dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Exactly. Because he's on the right, what?
Well, that'd be left side, but.
Okay. So if you have 4 men, hopefully you have 4 men, 2 are on the heel or butt section, 2 are on the top, my section. You know? That's how you do it, 4 guys. 3 guys, 2 are on the same one, staggered in the middle on the other side.
Oh, that sucks for that guy.
So,
what about that second photo right there, top right? Isn't that wrong? Like, shouldn't those guys be switched? Like, if you're gonna do it like the right way, right? Like the taller guy in the back, so the front's dipping.
the front's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's not on the second one.
I didn't do the pictures.
I was just curious. Yeah, if you knew them or not.
It's a great observation.
Just noticed that the guy in the front was taller. Just didn't know if that was like didn't really matter at that point because you got 2 guys or.
Not really.
What happened was, the guy in the back said, I need to be up front, so it's tipping down, but the guy in front said, no, I wanna be in charge, so yours in back.
Could be.
Well, that just wouldn't make sense.
Maybe the guy up front is taller than the guy. in the
Safety
back.
considerations for carrying ladders. Work and communicate as a team. Identify a team leader. Carry roof ladders with hooks closed, I'm sorry. Roof ladders are closed, okay? Carry ladders with butt in first. So you see what you're talking about? So he's on the balance point. He's gotta push down so you can see what's in front of him. Makes sense? So is the guy in the top. When performing a 1 firefighter carry the forward end of the ladder below eye level, which you guys have already seen. We're already talked about that. Carrying the forward end at the eye level impedes the carrier's balance and visibility, increases the risk of the butt spurs striking someone else on the head if they're up and you can't see. So that's why you got them down. Okay. What safety guidelines should be followed when carrying a ground ladder?
Don't trip.
Make sure you're on the balance point.
Don't run.
Don't run. Don't run on a fire
No,
scene.
no.
What else?
People,
Above and below.
Other people? Yep. What'd you say?
above and below.
Right, checking above, below.
Make sure
PPE.
Should be checking out in front of you so you can figure out a path to get to where you gotta go.
Butt down. Butt down.
Butt down. What else?
temperature,
Which could be what? Snow?
fire, heat, smoke, cold,
If you can
ice.
see, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning versus 11 in the afternoon, or 11 in the morning, big difference? Big difference. Okay, describe the proper procedure for placing a ground ladder. You know what they're talking about?
Like how to set it
So if
up.
you wanna do a beam raise or a flat raise, are they different?
Yeah.
So if you had to put, see where Jeff is sitting, if you had to put a ladder right there, how would you do it?
Oh,
Flat raise,
yeah.
what would you do?
When you put the butt to the wall, and then
Put
lift
the
it up,
butt to the wall right behind you, right there,
and lift it, then you pull it out to that angle,
get it
and
pulled
then
out.
you'll have another guy on the other end holding the ladder while somebody's going up.
And what's the guy on the inside part doing?
Just holding the ladder, he does
Security.
not look up, he does not look, he just looks
Straight out.
forward.
Straight out.
Do you, inside or outside? I've heard
It's
there's.
always outside on metal and fiberglass ladders. Always.
What about on the inside? Is that wood?
Wood in. Just remember that.
No, like the guy holding the ladder.
No, he'll be
He'll be-
inside.
This is the building, he's right here like this, he's right here inside, holding it and looking out.
Cause he's putting pressure against that angle.
So, I don't know. I've just had a lot of people that have tried to correct me over the years and say stay on the outside and push. I don't know.
We'll show you.
That was a Steve Fair moment.
You'll get it. Okay,
Steve Fairclough?
Situate. What's that?
On Skyway,
happened?
Steve Fair told me to
Oh, Steve Fairclough.
do the, cause I was doing it on the inside. He said come out and put both your feet on it. Or it was Justin Hunter. It was either
That's healing.
yeah, I don't know.
Put
one
one
of those two.
foot, your boot on the rung, or you put it on your butt spur.
I guess that was where my question was, is there, which one would you do? Which one right or
Depends
wrong?
on the situation. If you ain't got a guy to put in underneath and hold it in, then you do it outside.
I know it's always, don't put your hand on the rung.
Oh, so we're talking about like there should be two guys in this situation where if there's a guy on the inside holding it, there should be a guy on the outside
You'll
too.
be fine with one guy.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that other fire that we went to at the golf course, right? When
Yeah.
Steve Fair told everybody to hold
Pretty sure.
the
yeah.
rung, and that's wrong, because you don't wanna hold the
Yeah.
rung, you wanna hold the outside of it. Because if that
You wanna hold
extension
the
ladder
base.
comes down or
Yeah.
slips with somebody on it, it's gonna wipe your hands completely.
I think we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, cause I said something to the lieutenant there.
Yeah.
Okay, observe and communicate. Presence of overhead electrical wires and obstructions, ground conditions, which you guys have already talked about, building structural integrity, what does that mean?
It's made out of.
It's gonna support the ladder when you lean it up.
So if they tell you to get a ladder and that building looks like it's gonna collapse, what is the collapse zone on the building?
Isn't
It is 1.5 times the distance of the height of the building. So if you're 1 story, okay, 1 story residential is 10 foot, okay?
2 stories
It's
out.
1.5 time, and that's that, it just drops. Where do you need to be walking?
2 stories back.
15 feet.
Right, 15 feet.
Yeah.
1.5 times.
One hour.
Half a 10 is the 5, and you already got the 10 on the ground, you need to be 5 out
I'm
to
good.
be safe.
No, okay. I thought it was 1.5.
If you wanna do 20 foot, that's even safer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
True.
So down in the city,
Yeah.
those brick walls just go, that's how most of the guys get killed, from collapses. So you gotta be very cognizant.
Is that extra 5 feet just for like debris, once it hits, you know, debris flying away or flying across and all that? Okay.
So what about like? We're probably not there yet. I'm just gonna say something like 9/11 or like a skyscraper or like what would your
You can't
You
even
can't.
run fast enough with that deal.
is that like a lot of feet?
You're talking about, you might as well go to the next island.
Yeah.
Blocks.
Good thing we don't really have that, I guess.
Okay, wind direction and speed, appropriateness of the chosen ladder, structural features of the building. So if this overhang, so we got overhang, yeah, if this overhang is burning, I mean, going good, and they tell you to ladder this roof, where are you gonna do it at? You gonna do it on the overhang? Nope. Nope. Either over here or over here, which is probably the safest.
Over here. Farthest from it, right?
Well, this is peaked.
Flattest, so maybe like right here on the corner.
This is, the ridge is right here, isn't it? Am I thinking right? Isn't there a
Right.
ridge right here?
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Those are
Do we have an
torn
angle
up.
on this
Goes
building?
like,
Yeah.
I thought it was always flat.
No,
no, it's a pitched roof.
Really?
We sound like a bunch of cavemen right now. Is it angled?
Huh, I did not know that.
So does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the hard part if you put a, what was that?
The hallway
What's the
light.
hard part if you put it over here and this is a pitched roof?
You know, it's gonna be angled when you get up on
So the
there.
ladder's coming up like this and it's gonna look like that, is that safe? Nope. So you wanna put it over here where it's flat and climb up the ridge. Okay?
Does your 3-rung thing have to be, let's say you're coming up on a roof that's also angled, does it have to be 3 rungs above that? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like on a,
If where it touches the gutters,
then it has to be a
Already
3,
facing.
3 rungs
Right
above
there.
the lip.
yeah, not above the angle. Okay.
no,
because you ain't gonna have enough
the,
ladder.
the starting point.
Right.
Gotcha.
So if we put it up right here, and we say we use, 10 foot, you got 10 foot from the ground to the top where the gutters are, you have 3 to 5 foot more to go, which is how many rungs?
3 to 5.
Yeah,
35.
Didn't know that was a trick question.
it wasn't. Placing ladders for ventilation and rescue. Ventilation, upwind side of the window, okay? So it's coming this way, where are you gonna put the ladder?
Right where your hand's at. Or-
Okay. Tip even with the top of the window, okay? So the top of it's gonna be right here. Sorry, didn't mean to hit the freaking clock. It's right there. Okay? Used when firefighters need to climb in or out of narrow windows or direct hose streams into them. So what does that mean?
Water on the hot
So
stove.
can you get a hose line right here, behind the ladder right here, and putting out fire inside this room?
Part of it.
Compartmentalization is what it's called, okay? You can put out this room right here with a hose line and a guy on it, right here.
How do you reach like the inside of the room? Like the
Put on
other
a
side?
fog,
Yeah.
fog it,
Stick your nozzle in, put it on fog, and
whip it around.
whip it around.
But just curious, when you
The
use
fire
fog,
department knows
doesn't
or-
that add
Yeah.
more,
Do what?
when you do that and you add, or you do fog, wouldn't that add more oxygen to the fire because it's actually starting to ventilate it also?
But when you use fog, the droplets are a lot smaller and they convert to steam faster than a straight tip.
Okay.
Cause you got a solid core coming through like that. And the only way to get that to break up is if you hit something inside the room. You understand what I'm saying? Where the fog just goes,
Yeah, it'll hit more of the room than just the straight tip.
go off.
That's the way they used to seek dust back in the day. Put it on fog, set your nozzle in there and whip it around,
Then shut it down.
and you'll automatically put out the fire.
And let the steam and everything travel with the currents of the house.
Okay.
So it works great. That's a good way if you had like the call up and, where were we at?
Lakeview.
Lakeview, they had a picture window and all that was going in there. Knock out the picture window with the nozzle and turn it off and just watch it
All
all
the
go
steam
out.
and everything will
Go
go
right
the
out the
opposite way.
And you can
Because
also,
Cause like you said, fog, goes out that way. And it'll
Hugs it.
push everything, the steam, smoke, whatever.
It pushes it forward? I
Yep.
always thought it pushed it back, cause when you can do ventilation with the fog too.
Forward, you're saying the same way with two different words.
Okay.
Forward is this way, and you're saying pushing it back, so you're saying the same thing.
Okay.
You can use the fog to push the fire that way,
Uh-huh.
and the other neat thing about a fog line is, if you run out of air, you get your face next to that sucker, and you can breathe like you wouldn't breathe.
Really?
Because it's so much hydraulics, it's
Yeah.
sucking all that air in to go with it.
So, okay, so it's bringing air from outside
From all
into
those-
there,
Right.
and then it's fogging it out, and then taking all the stream, or
Converting
the
it to
steam
steam.
and all the smoke going out the other
Right.
side.
Right.
So if you actually have a window opened up over there, or a door and everything like that, it'll push everything out.
Right.
Okay,
That's one way.
I was thinking it was coming back
No.
towards that window, okay.
So if you were inside this room right here and you had a fog line and you wanna ventilate that building, you can stick the fog right here next to the window and let it suck all that smoke out of that room.
Okay.
It works great.
Yeah,
It's old school, everybody uses positive pressure fans now,
Yeah,
cause it moves more air than that. The only difference is it takes longer with the hose line than it does the fans. So,
yeah, but it kinda knocks out two birds with one stone. If there's a fire in that room, you're putting out the fire, plus you're ventilating all that shit out.
right,
put the holes in the window, you know, that thick like this, and you can see the smoke and everything going the direction.
so another tactic, if this was a house, this room's on fire, you could shove that thing in here, swirl around 3 or 4 times, shut your line down and come in through that door and push the rest of the fire out this way. You're done, it's extinguished.
It really works neat.
Two burns with one flow.
Don't quit your day job.
Sorry, I don't get one.
Alright, where we at? Okay, use when firefighters need to climb in or out of a narrow window or direct hose streams into them. Okay, for rescue, tip slightly below the windowsill, we're talking about right here, this part, okay? Wedge tip under sill for stability, so what do you mean about wedging?
Well, sometimes there's an
You take the
overhang.
heel, you put the fly section right here, and you take the heel and push it in to make it tight, okay, down here. And that'll lock and secure this to the building, okay? Extend ladder 2 or 3 rungs above the sill if there's room to permit. The tip of the project, the tip to project to the.
Project.
Oh, project, I'm sorry, thank you. Into the window and allow room for entry and rescue beside it. Okay, what do they mean? So you got another window over here?
Or if the windows sheet are great big windows.
Tall.
Great big ones. Yep, yep. Okay, ladder placement guidelines, place ladders near at least 2 points on different sides of the building. That's for the escape, remember, so guys got a way to get out, okay? Avoid placing over openings where it might be exposed to heat or direct flame. Take advantage of the strong points in the building construction. Where's a good point? Where's a strong part of the building?
Corner peak.
Corners. Yeah, your corners. You can use that. They're the strongest in the corners. Raise ladder directly in front of the window. What is to use as support for a smoke ejector. Okay. Avoid placing ladders where they may come in contact with overhead obstructions. You guys already got that drilled in your head. Avoid placing on uneven terrain or soft spots. Avoid placing in front of passive travel. Avoid placing on top of sidewalk, elevator trapdoors, or dead lights. Do not place against unstable surfaces. What's a dead light? What are you talking about? So down in St. Louis, their doors and their sidewalks are steel, they're painted gray, they open up like this, so electricians can go down there and work underneath the ground for all electrical wires and for that building. That's what they're talking about. Okay, you don't place it on that stuff, okay? Climbing angle, distance of ladder butt from the building, established angle between ladder and ground. If ladder is too close, its stability is reduced. If ladder is too far, its load carrying capacity is reduced and it has more tendency to slip. So you understand what they're talking about? That's where it's supposed to be, okay? If it's up here, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna go
Tip can come back. If it's out here, what's gonna happen? It can slide, right, or you get a guys on this, one or two guys, it's gonna bow from them being on it. So, optimum angle with certain exceptions is 75 degrees to determine proper distance of the butt from the building, divide the working length of the ladder by 4.
That's too much math.
So David told us, huh?
That's way too much math.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Wait, what'd you tell us?
If it's a 20-foot ladder, you divide it by 4, you're 5 foot from the.
you're 5 foot out. 5 feet.
At the butt.
Sit still for a second. This is what we're talking about. This is the tip of the ladder. So does that look, can you see this?
Too
Does that look
steep.
Too steep. So probably right about there is perfect.
No way, that's 5 foot.
This isn't,
It ain't 5 foot up. It's not 20 foot up.
maybe you should have went Coast Guard.
Should've. They don't have clearance.
Oh, you should have, what's that new one?
The newest Space Force.
Space Force?
Space, yeah, Space Force, that's where you should have went.
You gotta
Or
be
his
smart to
little
do that.
like,
Okay.
tinfoil hat.
Climbing angle, see where he's at? See his boots? Straight out, there's the rung. He's 1, 2, 3,
Looks like
4.
Felicia's kid.
4 up.
Yes.
Okay, did you get that?
Yeah.
You're gonna do this, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's me right there.
What factors affect ground ladder placement?
Do I need to-
Down, on the ground.
Ground condition.
Like, yeah.
Is it frozen? Is it mud?
The material you're putting it on, like the doors.
Is there a bunch of rocks right there and then it's mud next to it? All kinds of things. You just gotta think out of the box all the time.
Think outside your own.
What locations in your jurisdiction may present unique challenges to firefighters when raising ladders?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
The buildings on Main Street, because you're going downhill
Going downhill.
all the time.
You got steps on some of them, some you don't. How about the water plant where we fill up? What's in front of that tower?
Waterline.
Big old fence. It's all the way around it. The water tower down there where we fill up. What about, let's see,
Bucky Barnes. You got plenty of those.
what about where Rachel's is at?
Barbecue and Mexican.
Other,
What's the front of the building look like?
Crap.
Does it have cantilever coming
I
out
can't
or
remember.
covers the sidewalk?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
straight up and down?
Can't remember. It,
it has it
It's
across
got
the
a cover.
sidewalk.
Okay, is
Oh.
that an issue?
yeah, or down there by Juliet's where it's like an angle and then it's like a walkout. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So what else? What about the school up here?
Hmm.
Backside of the school,
There's two different
where they
levels.
go into the,
Like the library.
let's see, what is that? Where the little kids, the elementary kids go in, right there on the back corner back there, by the playground.
Doors.
What's the difference between that and going into the front of the high school?
It's a lot taller.
A lot taller, what else?
The front of the high school has a awning.
That new thing they just built, awning, whatever you call it, canopy,
Yeah.
could that be a problem?
Yeah.
And what happens if that gives away?
It's getting crushed.
You're gonna kill a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So you gotta be very cognizant of that.
I was gonna say another challenge too is you have your like at the school you have like I don't know. I guess if this were to ever happen, like that inside where it catch on fire, God forbid, like right there by the gym. The inside of the school has an interior outdoor part
Right.
to where like that'd be a
There's so many different levels and so many different
yeah.
heights of that building.
It's like a whole gym in there.
But here's another one for you. What about over there in MFA, the elevator? What do you got, concrete steps out here, and the building sets back here? How you gonna get a ladder up?
They got an elevator there? Is that what you said?
A grain elevator.
Grain
Oh,
elevator.
Grain elevator.
What about that? Could that be an issue?
Yep.
What's another issue if you had tractor trailers pulling in back there and you gotta get in there, right? Is that another problem?
Yeah.
It happen, you gotta think out of the box all the time,
Put it on top of the
all
tractor.
the time.
Could you do that?
What?
Could you put it like?
I don't
Okay.
think OSHA would like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about like ladder on top of the trailer and then another ladder
And
on
what
top.
happens if the trailer catches on fire?
As long as if the guy gets in and drives away.
Lose a fly.
Well, I'm sure it's not.
Most of them trailers
Great
are all
to
made of
walk
sheet
on.
metal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend, if it's raining, I wouldn't recommend walking on it.
No,
So can that thing move? Does it
Yeah.
move?
sure.
Then I wouldn't put a ladder against it unless you're trying to get somebody out.
Sure.
That would stink if you're on the roof and all of a sudden the ladder drives away.
Woo!
And then we forget about you
Yeah.
and we leave.
It's alright, I'll just look at Rachel's over there.
It's
the
like
whole time.
standing on an office chair trying to reach something high.
It's alright, and we all know my ladder or my radio don't
Okay,
work
we're
for
getting
shit.
close,
So.
I hope. Describe ways to secure a ground ladder.
Rope, webbing.
How about your
Heel
boot?
it. Heel it, person.
Your boot.
Halligan.
Heel it.
Your hands.
Securing ground ladders, lock extension ladder locks before placing the ladder against the structure. Heel and or secure the ladder with a rope to the firm object, which could be what? Could be a ladder on the side of the building, could be anything that looks strong. Tie the halyard off with the extension ladder. So where does that get tied off at?
On the rung.
On the road, wow. Okay. Do you want slop in that halyard when you start climbing up and down?
Nope.
Nope, somebody's boot's gonna get in it, and they're in trouble. Wear complete PPE, be alert for falling objects or debris, stay alert for firefighters descending the ladder. Okay? Ascending, descending.
What was that saying if something falls that we did in rope training that you say? Something fall, what was it? It wasn't rock. Remember when they said, when we're doing the rope training, if something falls like carabiner or anything like that, you're supposed to say a certain word so that, and then
Timber.
Headache.
nobody's supposed to look up.
Headache.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Headache.
Was it headache?
Oh.
Yeah, that's one
So we
word.
used when we build houses, when we're throwing stuff off
Watch
the roof,
out.
you yell headache.
Loose equipment.
Well, then you're not
Four.
supposed to look up.
No, you look out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stand there and look out. This is it.
Just, if somebody yells, just don't look up.
Here's what we're talking about, Kevin. He's in there holding the beams, he's securing the ladder so guys can go up and down.
Ooh,
Which way's the fly on that ladder, Kevin?
it's out. Also got another good question.
Why is it?
Why is it out?
Yep.
Because it's aluminum.
Or
Dry.
fiberglass?
Because that's how they're built.
They're designed.
What's your question?
What's your question?
That's a great right there. So what if that sidewalk was like, I don't know, let's say like, you couldn't put it on the sidewalk because it was like too short or wide, but if you put it out, it extends that 5 foot. Like let's say you're not at your proper
But you ain't gonna
75.
extend it that far.
No.
You're gonna extend it just a few inches.
You're still
It's too
gonna
much.
check your angle right here to make it safe for climbing, so wherever that's at, that's where you put it.
Every inch counts.
Wood in.
That's what she said.
Dude, you know what? He's gonna bring a tape measure in the next training class.
That's rule of thumb. 5 foot is approximate.
Yeah.
If it's
Depends on if you measure from the base or if you measure from, it all depends where you
Plus
measure
what
from.
time of day it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
The moon
If there's a
alignment.
foot of snow there,
yeah.
Here it is.
True.
a murder victim with a knife went in there. you
That's
know.
what you're gonna be assuming. The
Yeah.
murder victim.
Thinking too hard.
I like Jeff
Okay.
saying he's best.
Stand with feet shoulder width apart, grasp beams about eye level, and pull the ladder towards the building. Look forward, not up, when someone is climbing. So
You
the
don't see
easiest
that.
way to do this, see how he is? He's not touching the building. Put the weight of the ladder in your butt. Just bend your back a little bit and put your weight into your butt, and it won't move. You know what I mean?
Get it sexy.
Healing from outside the ladder, there's two ways. Right there with his boot, or the boot on the first rung. It keeps the bottom from flipping out.
I don't really like that left image. I don't know. I just never really
It works great, dude.
really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like with the boot on the rung, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like with that one, it's just kind of like, ooh. So if we lose weight, like this is going.
You're still putting pressure on it.
So you're putting
The
pressure
force is going
down,
down, so you're keeping it from doing this
Yes.
and then the boot thingy is you're pushing.
The boot thingy?
thingy. So stand outside the ladder thingy, chalk the butt in, 1 foot thingy, place toes against butt spur, or place 1 foot on the bottom rung thingy, crash beams and press the ladder against the building thingy. There you go. Make sense?
Yeah.
This makes so much more sense.
Prevent ladder from pulling away from the building, there you are with the webbing.
That's not 3 rungs above that.
So it's for the picture, dude. Do you see the gate right there?
Oh, so it moves too? Oh god. Oh.
We don't, is it-
Rope, hose, tool, or safety strap ties ladder to the fixed object. That's just a picture to give you an idea. Okay, what are the 2 methods of securing a ground ladder?
With your foot.
1 foot on the rung.
Yeah.
Boot thingy.
1 foot in front of the other.
Describe the methods for raising and lowering a ladder.
You can do it the
Beam raise.
You
Yeah,
do it
beam.
exactly the same way you put
Flat
it.
raise or beam. Yep. Ladder type and size, number of personnel available, weather and topography. Raising methods depend on that. Okay, you guys know that, you're good. Transitions from carry to raise. Not necessary to place the ladder flat on the ground prior to raising, only the butt needs to be on the ground. Transition should be done in a smooth, continuous motion. So what's he doing there, what kind?
Beam raise.
Beam, exactly.
ooh. Is that one guy? Was that right? On an extension ladder? That's a 2-person kind of job right there,
Nope,
Pat.
not if it's a 16-foot extension ladder.
No, it's got.
I think he's gonna go like that.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, 2 firefighter raise. He's pushing the ladder up, he's got it healed right there. There's another way of doing that. Guy stands on the bottom rung and squats, and then uses his weight to help that guy. Get the weight off of that guy right there.
I was gonna say, I'd rather be the guy that's with the boots.
And then the beam raise over here, same thing. He puts his boot right there on the heel, he pushes it up.
Damn, seems like the guy on the left side's doing like everything. Okay, that just does. I don't even know what's
Ladders
going on here.
45 foot or longer typically require at least 3 firefighters. Remember that little trick I told you about? It says 3 and then 5, 35, you need 3 guys,
Are they trying to climb that right now?
at least.
No, he's putting his
Looks
weight
like it.
towards
It looks-
He's
Looks like
put-
they're trying to hold it so he can climb up it.
It's not even the right way of the building.
They're pushing.
It's a stairway.
They're gonna pivot that thing. 4 firefighter raise used for larger, heavier extension ladders. Flat raise is normally used. Procedure similar to 3 firefighter raise, except placement of personnel. So how do you do 3? 2 on one side, 1 on the other, right? In the middle, remember? What methods can be used to raise a ground ladder with either 1 or 2 firefighters?
It's the same one we've been talking about. The beam.
Flatter beam. Okay, pivoting, this is pivoting, okay? You go like this with the ladder on one beam, okay? Necessary when fly is incorrectly positioned, ladders flat, raised parallel to the building. Pivot before extension if possible. Pivot on beam closest to the structure. Why do you do that? You do it the other way to grab the weight of the ladder to come this way out.
You want it to fall in the building?
You want it to go towards the building, because that's where you're gonna work at. Okay, shifting a raised ladder should be limited to short distances. Shifting is going this way, okay? I think it's 1 to 2 feet, you move it, you shift it. Pretty sure that's what it is. 1 firefighter can shift a single ladder that is 20 feet or shorter. Extension ladders require 2 firefighters. One method One method is to slide the top of the ladder sideways against the building and move the butt. So they're talking about move this way and then that, like that.
Not too much.
I'm gonna make sure
Yeah.
whenever we pull up this, I exactly have one other hand.
How can ground ladder be moved once it is already raised and in place?
Doesn't.
Pivot
Pivot,
or shift?
pivot,
Oh,
pivot.
Pivot.
Oh, pivot.
Pivot.
You know.
Describe how to safely work from a ladder. Okay, now we're getting into some shit
we
here.
just talked about this.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you do like the level with the window, the tip of the,
Okay, that's one of it.
and then you like,
So if you have to put a leg lock in to make it secure for you, which side do you work off of?
The outside.
you work on the side that doesn't have your leg lock.
So if you got your right boot tucked in a lock, you're working on the left. If you do your left, you're working on the right. Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Climbing ladders, climb smoothly, ascend so there is the least possible amount of bounce and sway. Check climbing angle, secure ladder before climbing.
It's like a fancy
Okay.
racehorse. Just
You know, they've never said anything about 3 points of contact in this whole thing yet.
yeah, that's true.
You have 4. They-
What-
I don't know if
Isn't
they
it
changed
required at least 3 points, at least?
Yeah, they changed things so much. That's like getting on a pumper, 3 points of contact.
Cause you're gonna have to take one hand off at least.
Okay. Eyes forward, glancing to the tip of the ladder occasionally. Keep arms straight and horizontal. Place hands on the rungs when not carrying equipment. So if you had a ladder go up with you to use, where would you have the axe? Say an axe, you gotta take an axe up. Where would you put it?
On the rung above you. Or in front of
You
you.
mean when you're carrying it?
On the
Yeah,
beam.
you're
On the
going up
outside of
and-
the beam,
On the
slide it
beam.
up.
On the beam.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so is it easier to do it that way or get some rope, go up there and then pull it up with a
Well,
rope?
PA says you're supposed to hoist it up with the rope now.
Oh, they do? Well, I didn't know that. So
Say-
there you go, that answers that question.
You're not supposed to
It's
climb
safer.
with, they say you're not supposed to climb with anything in your hand now, but
Okay.
Really? So,
Coordinate, foot movement, hand, foot movement, place feet near beams with how you're tied in the center of the rung. Climb using leg muscles, not arm muscles. What steps should be taken to safely climb a ground ladder?
Safety.
Always,
And then the angle.
on the dangle.
No, the ladder.
climbing.
what steps should be taken to safely climb a ladder?
Climb smoothly.
Uh,
Use the outsides of the rungs.
Yeah.
Don't bounce.
Next to the beams and don't bounce.
Can use your leg muscles.
Make sure that it's
3 points of contact.
Okay. Here's your ladder belt, okay? See the big old beaner right there? Locks in on the rungs, okay? That is the leg lock.
So if they're cutting above you and they're working it, are you still standing on the inside of that ladder? The stuff's coming down? Or is that one of those special occasions where you move to the outside and you do your little boot on the thing?
Depends on what they're cutting and what they're doing. You want the ladder secured so if something happens, they can get to it and get out.
Yeah.
So it all depends.
Now with the leg lock, you want it on the beam? I thought you wanted it on the rung.
No, your foot goes on,
On
comes
the beam?
under the rung and goes over to the beam.
Really? Okay.
It should, that's the way it should
I
be.
think that's what they taught us in basic is just go over the rung, but
They might.
But they might have changed it by
They probably
then.
taught you that, and some people teach that, but that's the proper way to do it.
Okay.
Right, that's safer.
Yeah, I don't know, that's, something about that just is like, if you're going down, you're committed to that fall.
Well, if something happens and that kicks or goes down, what do you think's gonna get broke first?
Leg.
Your knee, your leg?
But you're not gonna fall.
You ain't gonna fall.
you can lay
So-
back on that thing and just lay there and everything like that, and
So when
it's perfect.
I first started, the old timers, he was a room kid. Like, okay, they had a 12-foot ladder, like a carpenter or drywall dude. Get up there. It's okay. Climbed up there. They kicked it. They teach you how you ride the ladder down to right before you get to the ground, and you push it away, and you're that far above the ground. tell me how to do that.
They literally pushed the ladder away from you and you fell
When I
and
was
then
on
you
it,
have to jump.
They were teaching us how you do that to protect
Oh,
yourself.
you do that to me, I'll be pissed.
I mean, I guess you're not gonna say much though if
I'd
you're
rather
both foot in
be
the air.
pissed than dead.
I'm like dying, I'm fucking, I'll be like holding on.
Okay, warning, do not exceed the rated load capacity of the ladder to avoid overloading the ladder. Always allow only one firefighter on each section of the ladder at the same time. Be careful about stressing ladders laterally. Okay,
Is that an implied joke?
use a leg lock only when working from a ground ladder. Why wouldn't you do that on an aerial
Does it
or
move?
bucket truck? It'll cut your freaking legs off. Because that hydraulic pressure going wrong to wrong, you're done. You're retired and on disability.
And then also, don't they have the sides on the ladders too, so you're kind of more safe than more secured?
So wait, we're talking about like if it was moving though, like if the aerial ladder was 100% stationary, you still wouldn't do it, but you're talking about hydraulic pressure. Is that still a thing whenever it's stationary?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Does
That
it-
hydraulic fails or anything like that,
Yeah.
it heats up or
Done.
anything, yeah, no.
Oh,
You
okay.
get your boots or feet in between there, and our boots are steel right here, guess what happens to your foot?
Gone.
It's crushed into steel and it's gone. And you'd be one screaming mojo.
Probably cry.
Okay, carrying tools up and down the ladders disrupts natural climbing motion, may be describable with slide hand along the beam rather than the rungs. Hoist rather than carrying impossible. See where he's got that ladder? It's right there. He's got his hand, okay, you gotta watch that guy's hand. He's going right up the beam with that X.
I don't know about you, but I'll still rather carry a tool up there.
Deploying a roof ladder. You guys okay? Sure? Okay, so what's he doing?
It's deploying the.
Sliding it
The
up.
hooks are open and he's sliding it up to the pitch, okay? Is this proper? Look at
No.
him, look at the ladder.
Nope.
It is. 1, 2, 3.
What about his arm going through the? I guess it doesn't matter at that point.
His arm going through.
Well, if you secured it right, it's not gonna go nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, deploying a roof ladder. Carry roof ladder hooks closed to the extension ladder. Open a roof ladder hooks. Climb with roof ladder or receive roof ladder after a partial climb. So that means somebody brings the roof ladder to you when you're already on the ladder. Okay, you understand what we're talking? Carry the roof ladder to the roof. Lock in with leg lock or ladder belt. Place ladder on its beam on the roof. Slide the roof ladder to the roof's peak. Engage the hooks over the roof's peak. So you slide it up like this, turn it like that. The hooks, yeah, do hooks with my fingers. Hooks right here, and this is the peak. Grabs, you ain't going no place.
If a
That's what
ladder,
we're talking about.
if you're on a ladder and it falls, would it be better to try to, if you like, I don't know, if you had like a grip on a roof, like would it be better to try to stay on that roof and ride that ladder out?
That's
Like-
what happens.
Like I don't know, if you're on the edge right there, like would it be better to try to grab
It
that
goes like
edge?
that.
Yeah.
What the hell is your heel man doing? Smoking a cigarette?
Doobie.
Sitting on his phone?
Yeah, but like let's say that did happen and like the roof like went,
I'd ride, personally, I know how to do it, I'd ride it out
you ride it out,
that fast.
ride the ladder.
Yeah.
Sick.
What methods can be used to deploy a roof ladder on a pitched roof?
Same thing.
Describe the methods to assist the victim down the ladder. Assisting a conscious victim. Okay.
So it doesn't look right.
Ladder tip raised just below the windowsill. You got it. Okay. The fly is out. See where the fly is at? Okay. Ladder's healed with all loads and activity removed. At least 4 firefighters are needed. If you got 6, it's better than 6.
We need to close, Pat.
I know.
We got like 5 more.
Huh?
We only got like 5 more class.
Oh, really? Assisting a victim down a ladder, assisting an unconscious victim down a ladder. So see what he's doing with his knee? He's got the boots out here. His knee supports that dude's body, okay? He can take that guy and turn him sideways and put the knee in that, right here, on this part of the torso, and have his legs hanging down. Oh, here it is, right here. See how he's got the guy right there? So he's using that arm, and then he goes down, and the guy, naturally, he just uses the ladder, and they come down. And it's a lot harder than that looks, believe me.
Is that Mr. Clean?
Might be. Assisting a victim down the ladder, assisting a large victim, okay? Here's the difference. Cradle the little kid in your arms, and you keep the arms together when you're going down. Where this has to be synchronized, these two have to talk big time when they're gonna move, when they go down. So, advanced ladder tactics, we wouldn't do this. We put him in a Stokes,
That's what I was thinking.
tie him off to the Stokes and let the ladder come down like that, and the Stokes comes down like this, and he's flat and done. You're gonna kill your guys doing that.
No.
They could
No, you're not
make,
gonna kill your guys? No.
I feel like they could make, call me crazy, but wouldn't it be kinda smart, like, to have like a rescue ladder? Like a ladder, a straight ladder, two sides on it, and at the top of it, maybe something where you could like a little hump for like your rope, you could just put your basket on and kinda slide it down. You know what I'm saying?
Have it where you can put some sort of catch on the beams, almost like a train.
Kinda. Like it'd be like your extension where you have like the pause, but it would be like, that way you can put your person down or up.
Just use a rope to control
That-
that
that
speed.
just-
Use a ascender or descender.
Yeah, there's a Stokes basket and,
Yeah, business
Come
idea
on,
right
Blaine.
there.
yeah.
Be like a roller coaster the other way around.
You need to come train down the city with us, you'll see it.
It's a good thing I don't work down there.
You'll see it.
I'd like to do that whole Stokes basket with the ladder.
Your question, how is assisting a conscious victim down the ladder different from assisting an unconscious victim down the ladder?
Unconscious would be better.
Yeah, not verbal.
They're not freaking out.
So, down there, the rule is you get a ladder up to the window and they start to fight you, what do?
Punch him.
Knock them out.
Punch them right in the square in the nose, get them on the ladder. I'm dead serious.
Really? They tell you to knock them out?
Yes, sir. Punch them as hard as you can, get them on the ladder.
We're gonna take a break here.
Is
What?
that our SOPs too?
I'm just telling you the way it is.
Is that our SOPs
So
too?
what's the real difference between
Yes.
the live and the dead?
Live in the dead.
Yeah, what's the real difference, or live and unconscious?
One's gonna
The
need.
way they were facing.
You do the
Unconscious, which
unconscious
way do you
one.
want them facing?
Oh, if they're conscious, you want them, their face.
Their head away
towards
from the
bed-
smoke?
Building.
They're
If they're
towards the building.
unconscious,
They're coming towards you.
towards you.
Okay. But can I ask why? Like, why wouldn't they all just be one way?
Because if you're conscious, okay, and you're sick from smoke, would you have the guy throw up all over you? Or have him go out that way? That's one way.
Oh.
Plus, you can control them better by using your voice and squeezing your forearms on them to tell them I got you, because people are freaking out.
You just
And then
punched
you
me,
can also-
man.
You don't want them fighting you on the ladder.
And also, you can tell them to focus on like the wall, because a lot of times when you tell people to focus on
They
something,
get scared because
they
they're on the
won't,
ladder.
they'll start calming down to where that they'll start walking down the ladder.
Are
So
there
can-
any questions about this content?
Can they come down the ladder on their own?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
You can ask them or talk to them.
But you should be there, you should be
I'm the
there
guy
with
when they
them.
say, I'm scared down the ladder, I said, well, that makes two of us.
Look here, seriously. So safety wise, here, turn around. Safety wise, okay, see his underarms right here? If he's coming down, go under here, and you got control of this, and you tell him, okay, start stepping, and you were this close to that dude. You're keeping him on the ladder by going down the ladder, descending. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, if
And
he
then-
wants to walk down,
And
you
then-
still kinda wanna be there with them.
And if you wanna reassure him, what did I just do? What am I doing?
You're hugging me.
I'm hugging and squeezing him, my hands are on.
Give him a kiss
on the
around the back of his head and said,
That
you're okay.
makes him feel safer and better by doing that.
What's harder, the ladder or the pad?
What happens if when you punch them, it doesn't knock them out?
Run.
He's gonna be more
That's
pissed.
when you slide down the beams.
Oh man, what the
You
hell?
slide down head first.
You
Pat, is this everything?
might wanna pause that before you
Hold
go.
on.
Yeah, the class was great right up to the last part.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit past 2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Was it?
Yeah.
We started at 6.
6:40.
Was everybody understand everything, how to do everything?
Yeah, we're at
2:21.
2:21.
2:21?
Yeah. Just real quick. Was it over? What were we going over?
Go ahead and kill it. Anybody got any questions?